Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and for this video, I want to talk about how I think a lot of people are missing out on a good partner that they could have living here in Japan. I'm speaking about Japan because I live in Japan. And I want to talk about this because I feel like it really speaks to me too on a personal level. Now, of course, I am married now, but prior to me getting married, I feel like this is something that really spoke to me, so to speak. And again, going back to what I've said before, I gotta give him credit, Kevin Samuels. And not just him, but, just listen to other people talk about, marriage and relationships, etc. And I feel like a lot of us have been misled and brainwashed by social media. We see all of these people showing their perfect relationship, the places that they go, the things they eat, etc. And people don't talk about the real stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And the reality is that I feel like a big part of why a lot of relationships don't last long nowadays, not getting into like the other side, of course, of things being, simply a bad relationship, but rather people have good partners, but they expect perfection from their partners. And I don't mean that in the sense of, cheating or abuse, etc. of any sort, but rather people want a partner that just knows exactly what they want, exactly what they need at any given time, and that doesn't have to be told anything more than once, and that's just all around perfect. And if you go around dating like that, you are never going to find a husband, and or you're never going to get married. And if you do get married, you're never going to have a long-lasting relationship. You're going to end up getting a divorce rather soon. Because you are going to have fights, you're going to have, disagreements on stuff, you're going to have arguments, you are going to get pissed off at each other, you're going to be really angry at each other, you're going to say hurtful things to each other, just keeping it real. You are going to forget things that are important to the other person, you're going to not want to do things that your partner likes to do, etc. And if you have it made up inside of your mind that if your partner doesn't just check off everything on, all the boxes on your checklist or whatever, doesn't, scratch everything off for you, and without having to be told anything, you're going to end up single, or it's going to take you forever to get married. And a lot of people kind of feel like they don't care, they'd rather wait for the absolute perfect person. And so, I'm not suggesting to marry anyone just for the sake of getting married early. But remember, your life is short and limited. The longer it takes for you to get married, the less time that you have to stay married together, the less time that you have to spend with your husband, the less time that you have to spend with your children, seeing your grandkids, etc. And a really big topic that people don't talk about so much nowadays is that because everyone's having kids in their 30s, 40s, etc., and I'm going to be included inside that category, just keeping it real, you're not going to have a lot of great-grandmothers, even grandmothers at this point. And especially with, all this, fat acceptance, etc., where everyone wants to, act like being fat is normal. And this is off subject and for another video, but something that really changed my perspective on this was somebody made a video or a meme or something that said how many old people do you see in their 90s or hundreds that are obese? Zero. Of course, old people have slower metabolism, so they normally are a little bit overweight, but you know what I mean? This whole accepting people that are 3x, 2x, 1x, etc. type of stuff like that. But that's a whole other story. Not gonna get into all of that crap. Not about bullying people or shaming them. I'm overweight myself. But rather saying that people have this idea that they can't be wrong about anything. That's what social media is teaching us. Accepting yourself as you are has its limits. You can accept that you have flaws and not embrace them to the point where you believe there's nothing wrong and there's something you need to change about yourself. For example, I am overweight and I love myself, but I can be honest and admit that I do have a problem. I need to stop eating so much. I need to exercise more. That's called taking accountability. And in this case, people want their partners to act like, a magic genie or some sort of wizard or god or something. How does your partner know your love language? How do they know exactly what you want, what you need, what are your deal breakers, etc.? And honestly, even if you tell someone, you have to be understanding and remember that you need to give them the same mercy and grace that you would want somebody to give to you. You're not a perfect partner either. And a lot of people have to realize too, and this is where I think Kevin Samuels says as well, it's really important that you understand things from your partner side of it. What do they want? And a lot of women think about what they want in a relationship, but not what their man wants. And when they do think about what their man wants, they don't think about it beyond really sex for the most part. It's more to it than just that. And a lot of people have these ideas and expectations for what they want with finances, but they don't think about, okay, if you want a man to make X amount of money, what are you, I hate this whole term bring to the table, but what do you have to give in return for him? What does he get out of this marriage, or this relationship, etc.? I'm not talking about the typical basic, I'll clean, I'll cook, etc. No, I mean him on a personal level. What does your partner truly want? What does he value? What does he like? What does he enjoy? What makes him happy? Thinking about it on a deeper level. So I feel like a lot of people, like, their deal breakers are so simple. Like, oh, well, if he doesn't buy me this, or he doesn't do this for my birthday or for Valentine's Day, whatever, it's the end of our relationship. You have to understand that you're also, as a straight woman, you're dealing with a man. And most men don't look at Instagram and see these vacations, etc., and try to match these people and whatnot. They are totally fine doing the simplest of simple things, something free, something cheap, something whatever. If you like things that are expensive, you like things that are well thought and planned out, etc., you have to be vocal. And I feel like a lot of people want their partner to already know exactly what they want, exactly where they want to go, etc. And when their man, their boyfriend, husband, whatever, doesn't perform, they're ready to be done with the relationship. They don't want to have any arguments. The moment that their partner says anything bad to them, out of line, hurts their feelings, they're done with the relationship. And you have to remember that while maybe your ex didn't do X, Y, and Z, this is a completely different person. You have flaws too. And while it's really easy to focus and, think about what your partner does wrong, you might have to think and look back at yourself. Maybe there's some issues that you have too that really pisses your partner off. Remember, they're a completely different being. While you might be more patient and understanding and not as irritable as your partner is, maybe they aren't quite exactly like you. So I just really feel like a lot of people miss out on relationships because not a matter of standards being too high, but a matter of being unrealistic as to what it's like to be in a real relationship, and not getting into the idea of cheating and whatnot, etc. But a big part of why marriages don't even last as long as they used to back in the day, not a matter of the financial aspect, which that is a big issue, finances and education, but another big part is there's less of an understanding nowadays. Everybody's afraid of being cheated on, lied to. Everybody's afraid of not getting what they want out of a relationship, and for that reason they're really quick to just throw away their partner and move on to the next one. And I think that's a really sad and messed up way of living. It's really common to see in Japan, even with Japanese people, to be totally honest with you. A lot of people rather just end their relationship, move on, get a new partner. And one thing that I really love about my husband, and he even said this himself about himself, is what he liked about me was the fact that I was real. And to another person, which has happened plenty of times in the past, as you guys know, it drives them away. In Japan, you're expected, I said this on YouTube before, you're expected to be a perfect partner. If you make your partner mad, you have an argument, fight, whatever, instead of trying to work it out, they'll just leave you and get another partner. And my now husband, he liked that about me. The fact that, we could argue, we'd have a fight, whatever, and we'll be over it. It might take a day, it might take a few hours, it might take a couple of days, whatever. Typically, we get over it within a day. We're through with it. And it's good. You need to have a real relationship with that, where you can build, where you can heal each other, where you can forgive each other. Because the reality is, you are not perfect and your partner won't be. And pretending to be perfect and then getting married and then seeing, the flaws that you guys have, that's a lot scarier. I would much rather see your bad side prior to us getting married than to get married to you and then be afraid of this monster that you become when you get angry. So again, do keep in mind, there's a difference between being human and having a fight, argument, whatever, and dealing with a legitimately abusive relationship and being manipulated and not getting what you need and deserve out of your relationship. That's a totally different story. But I feel like a lot of people do have good partners. They just don't understand how to work out problems and issues. They want their partner to come problem free. They basically want their partner to have so much history with dating, so much experience, that they magically know exactly what to do for you. And you can find a partner like that, but it's really hard to do. And typically, when you do have a partner that does everything perfectly for you, it's because they've been through it all. They likely have kids, they've been divorced, they're older. There's so many things that go into that. So really just think about your own standards that you have for dating, and are you being fair? Would you want somebody to have those same standards and expectations for you? And yeah, you might like this big, fancy, extravagant, whatever type of stuff, but does your partner like that too? It's important for it to be balanced. You have to compromise. Sometimes you have to do things your partner's way. Sometimes they should be doing things your way. I said this before inside another video, but a part of my relationship, we do compromise. I personally like the big, flashy, nice, expensive type of things. My partner is more of the type of person that likes some things that are more on the cheap. He enjoys luxury, etc. too, but he honestly likes to save money. However, he knows that I'm quite the opposite. So to make me happy, he does splurge and buy nice things for me every once in a while. But also because I want to be a good partner to my husband, I'm accepting to the fact that his goal is to save money, and I try to help him do that. So it's really important that you make things fair, but do also keep in mind that while things should be fair for your partner, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to miss out on everything that you want and or need. It has to be balanced in your relationship, but the most important thing is being understanding and or forgiving. And also being willing to change your, requirements a little bit. A lot of people have stuck inside their mind their partner has to be 6 feet tall, or their partner has to have this certain job, etc. And you could honestly miss out on dating some really good people and being treated well by some really good people because of your standards. So really just be flexible what you're looking for in a partner, and also be really flexible in understanding and forgiving that your partner is human. They cannot read your mind. You have to tell them what you want, what you like, and what you dislike. And just as you're busy telling them your likes and dislikes and your wants and needs, make sure that you're being attentive and listening to and serving them and giving them what they want and what they need as well. And of course, dating with a purpose and intentions. A whole other topic. I made videos about this before, but you can't just date somebody and get mad because they don't propose to you and want to marry you. Did you make that a standard from the start of your relationship? Have you been clear, upfront, and direct with them? A lot of people are so afraid to be direct with their partners about their wants. I'll make a video about this later. But I literally saw a post the other day from this couple on Instagram, and instead of her just directly saying like, hey, like, I want you to propose, I want to marry you, like she made like this subliminal birthday post for her partner saying, hey, like, I'm ready to spend the rest of our lives together. And it's like, okay, well, you've been dating this guy for what, like 4 or 5 years now? You haven't required marriage. So instead of getting mad and trying to hint to your partner, just be direct, tell them in person, hey, I want to get married, like, what is the timeline on this crap? Instead of being upset and being passive about it. That's a whole other story, but again, you save yourself a lot of time, but letting people know up front what you want and that you're not willing to compromise on that. Compromising can be you saying, okay, I'm willing to date a little bit longer, but compromising is not saying, okay, I'll date you 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Especially if you're older. If you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, 50s, you do not have time to date somebody for 3, 5 years, whatever. I say anyone you date gets no more than 6 months before marriage needs to be on the table, and you should be getting married within a year or 2 years max. No 3, 5 year relationships. If you're in your early 20s, fine, you could do 2, 3 years, whatever, but I don't believe at any age, as long as you're an adult, a relationship should never last more than 3 years. I think 3 years is max. Your partner knows if they want to marry you or not. You don't have to have all the money in the world to get married. You don't have to have the biggest, nicest, fanciest, expensive ring. For example, myself, I do not have an engagement ring. I do not have a diamond ring. I have a wedding band, though. This is what I have for the time being. It's a nice wedding band. I got a ring from Tiffany & Co. A lot of people can't even afford to get a band at all. And with that said, I don't care for the ring that I have, and I was willing to wait until later to get the actual engagement ring that I want, instead of getting a cheap engagement ring just so I can show you guys that I have a ring. I want to wait until my husband has the money to afford an expensive ring that I really, really want. So again, think to yourself, do you really want to get married, or do you want the things that are for show for other people to see? Do you really want to be happy in your marriage, or do you want people to think that you're happy in your marriage by showing the material things that you've, accumulated, whatever? And I had to really think about that too, because of course the old me, I would think, shoot, I ain't getting married unless you're gonna give me a big ass diamond ring. So of course, don't get me wrong, I am gonna get that later on. But I had to think to myself, would I rather get married now, or is it so important that I get the ring that I want that I put off getting married for another 1 to 3 years? Think about that. And also to be understanding. I literally just met my partner and I just got married to him literally 3 months after we started dating. That is a very short period of time for somebody to save for a ring, because we didn't even talk about getting married until, after we started dating. So really even less than 3 months he would have had to have planned to have actually bought this ring. And my partner is not rich. He has a good job. He ain't a millionaire or something like that. See what I'm trying to say? So that's pretty much it. Just want to say, be flexible, be understanding that your partner cannot read your mind. If you really crave emotional intimacy, you want your partner to listen to you, you want to do walks in the park, you want to hold hands, etc., you have to let your partner know and explain to them how important it is to you, because even if you tell them that you like it, they might not know that by them not doing that, it makes you feel like you're not loved. That's really important. Likewise, as a woman, if you're in a relationship, it's really important that you understand what your man wants. Men want more than just sex. Sex is nice and all, but you want to know what men also like? Men like to be listened to as well. For example, I do not like the video game Splatoon, but my husband really loves it. So you want to know what he likes? He likes when I'm willing to listen and talk about the game, when I watch him play the game, when I'm willing to watch One Piece with him. He likes it when I cook his favorite meal. He likes it when I'm willing to go to a cheap restaurant together and just talk and be silly and whatnot. He likes things like that. And in return for me being willing to do things that my partner likes, you know what I get? I get taken out on nice dates. I get to have nice experiences. It makes my relationship so much better, because now that I'm willing to do what my partner wants to do, it makes me so much more willing to serve me and do what makes me happy. And the same thing can be said and done for you. The problem is nowadays, Everyone thinks that they're supposed to be this queen or king or whatever, and their partner's supposed to bow down and worship and serve them and do everything that they want and be just like how these guys see on Instagram is. But the reality is, a lot of these relationships, I said this out of another video before, but a lot of these relationships are fake. They're staged. They told their partner they're recording a video, they asked their partner to do X, Y, and Z for them, and you're thinking that their partner did this willingly on his own because he's just this romantic man. But for the most part, a lot of these guys, they don't know about us rose petal candles and shit like that. They got the idea for this vacation, whole event, whatever, because their girlfriend planned it. Their wife planned it. It was their idea. That's the reason why it took place. That's the reality. Your partner has to learn how to make you happy. If you tell them, I really appreciate and I love it when you take the lead, when you plan a date, when you do whatever, when you explain it to your partner, and sometimes you have to do more than once, then they will understand, okay, this is really important, makes my partner really happy. They really appreciate when I take the lead, when I do whatever. So now I want to make my wife or my girlfriend, whoever, happy. I want to make this relationship work. I want to make them feel just as good as they make me feel. And then they will do these things for you. And keep in mind that while you might like certain things, there are actually girls that don't like expensive things. There are girls that don't like to have so much attention, don't like to have the flashy dates, don't like to be sung happy birthday to, etc. Keep that in mind. Your partner does not know. Because while you might think, this worked with my ex, maybe you hate everything that he's doing. He doesn't know this. You have to teach him and train him. Likewise, you might be thinking, well, my partner really loved it, just want to keep it real, when I was deep throating him. Well, another guy might think that it's painful and not enjoy this experience or whatnot. I'm trying to say so. Different people like different things. It's like people like different things in a relationship. Some men like to be dominated. Some men like more submissive women. You have to understand and meet your partner where they are. And just like for you as a woman, while you might think that you love gifts and money, etc., trust me, I've dated guys that had that and gave that stuff to you, and you felt really empty and alone at the end of the day. You might actually decide that while that is nice, there's more than what you want than just gifts, money, and food. Likewise, as a man, a lot of men, when they're young, they think all they want is sex, 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 sex. But you get older, you realize, no, I really like a companion that we could just go out and do things together, watch movies together, go for a walk together, play video games together, laugh, play board games, whatever. Do simple things together, sleep together, just cuddle. Little things like that. Understanding what your partner likes, what they value, what they appreciate. That's really important. So that's it. I really just want you to be more open-minded. Don't put up with abuse and being, whatever, but also keep it real with you. Be understanding. People do make mistakes. People have to learn how to work and grow and build. And honestly, especially when you come from a broken household and home like how I did myself, I still have flaws and issues that I'm dealing with today. And I'll be honest and admit that one of the biggest issues that I have in my relationship is that I honestly have to work on my temper. I get angry. And I will say this thing with me. My anger builds up slowly. And then I explode because I keep so many things to myself. And it's the way that I pretty much grew up. I grew up inside of an abusive household. So for me, I know that I need to work on my emotions. I don't handle them properly. I'm also sensitive. I might be really hurt by something that somebody said or did to me and I don't let them know. And then it comes up later on and my partner's shocked, like, I didn't know that offended, that hurt you, whatever. But it did, and I'm thinking about it, and it sticks in me, it scarred me, whatever. And your partner doesn't know because they didn't have the same upbringing and childhood as you. And in this situation, you're from two completely different cultures, you speak two completely different languages, and no matter how well you understand Japanese or no matter how well your partner understands English, it will never be perfect. And with that said, now your cultures are totally different too. Things that you think are signs that you love someone, your partner may see as being selfish or inappropriate or whatever. So, yeah, that's something you have to also work on. And I can go into a whole laundry list of things my partner does, honestly does irritate me that I don't like, that I find to be whatever. And just as I have my whole list of things that irritates and makes me upset about my partner, likewise, he feels the same way about me. And so I'll make whole videos talking about these topics later on, but I just want to say that, understand that your partner is human. Your partner needs to understand that you're human. And you have to be willing to work on this, understand it, but don't try to force a relationship. If your partner doesn't want to be understanding, they don't want to heal with you, work with you, grow with you, whatever, let them go and wait for somebody else to come along, because they will. But the worst thing you could do to yourself is forcing yourself to stay inside of an abusive, bad relationship that's not serving you. I do not suggest doing that, but I also do not suggest missing out on potentially good people by being so quick to let people go because you want to be this queen, this boss, whatever. You deserve only the best. Sometimes you don't give the best to people either. and you want them to hold on to you and be understanding towards you. Fights, arguments, disagreements, name calling, and honestly, on some levels of abuse. Meaning on an emotional level, sometimes you might even get really upset and you might hit your partner. Just keeping it real with you. This is real life. This is not Instagram. This sounds really bad to say, but hear me out. Most people do these things. You just don't hear about it, don't see it, because everyone wants to show you nothing but their perfect lives, perfect relationships. That's life. People get angry. It's impossible to live with somebody 24/7 and not to be at each other's necks every once in a while. You get irritated with each other. Things your partner does makes you mad, makes you sad, just as it can make you happy and make your life enjoyable and good. You have bad times too. It's really important to understand that, because if you don't understand that you're not able to work on these things, your marriage will never last. You will get a divorce. You will be unhappy in your relationship. So that's it for this video. I mean, I really hope this helps you guys out. Again, don't be afraid to repeat things that you like and explain how it makes you feel when you don't get those things. Be reasonable, be fair, and make sure that every time you're telling your partner what you want and what you need, that you are also getting that information out of your partner too. Be fair in your relationship, because if all you're doing is take, and you don't give anything, your partner is not going to be happy with you. They will leave you, they will cheat on you, they won't stay with you, and you will have a lot more problems. But do be understanding, no relationship is perfect. Don't be fooled by Instagram, don't be fooled by celebrities, don't be fooled by YouTubers. Their goal is to show you the good side of life, the good side of things. They don't normally highlight and show you the bad of relationships. And when people do show the bad, everyone talks about red flags and running away, etc. But nobody talks about being willing to work with your partner and build and grow, and more importantly, forgive each other and move on. The important thing about forgiveness is being understanding that people make mistakes, and sometimes more than once, but also be understanding there's a difference between a mistake and someone willingly choosing to constantly, consistently disrespect you and not care about your feelings. That's a whole nother story. So I'm done with this video. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment down below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. I have a Snapchat and TikTok at Comic the Savior, and a Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior. I also have a blog at Comic95.com. Yes, always, if you have any video ideas or questions for me, please send me an email or leave a comment below with those things. I have a YouTube playlist on just about everything: working, studying, dating, living in Japan. Please check out my homepage and you can find playlists on different topics such as that. I've probably already made a video answering your question there. Other than that, I'd appreciate if you watch another video. So yeah, thank you for listening and thank you for watching.